Booker T has said he was treated fairly in WWE. Now, can you dig that sucker? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, and there's one sucker that cannot dig that, and it is former AEW champion, former world champion, Swerve Strickland. He's been vocal about how he was treated in WWE after being released in 2021. He did an interview with Vlad TV. No idea who Vlad TV is, but he appears to have a little bit of beef with Booker T. Maybe he was trying to antagonize Swerve Strickland during this interview, but Swerve went on and he responded to what Booker T said about how he was treated in WWE. Booker T said he was treated fairly. Booker T says that he wasn't held back because of the colour of his skin, but Swerve Strickland is almost calling Booker T out, calling him a liar, because he said that's not the case. He says that he doesn't believe that Booker was treated fairly, and he doesn't believe that he was treated fairly, and he says the fans are also agreeing with him, and that black wrestlers are not getting a fair shake in WWE.
Right, across the board, wrestling's been going on for a very, very long time. Different eras, etc, etc. See, once upon a time, you can bet your bottom dollar that black wrestlers were held back, right? But see, Booker T, he's a guy that, wrestled across decades. Bet you when Booker T first started out, things weren't exactly good for the black man. But if Booker T tells us at face value that he did not experience racism in WWE and wasn't held back, who the fuck is Swerve Strickland to disagree with Booker T?
Well, he didn't say he's never experienced it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about WWE.
No, he never said that either.
Well, did he not?
No, he didn't say he's never experienced it in WWE. He's just saying that he wasn't held back from the higher-ups. And Booker T's always defended Vince McMahon. Now, he has said that there was other people that have made racist remarks against him, but in regards to Vince McMahon, in regards to his push, he said he was never held back because of the colour of his skin. So I'm willing to believe Booker T on that.
Yeah, I see Vince McMahon. It just seems like another dig at McMahon. But like, where is the actual hints that McMahon is racist? Like, yeah, he said a few things on TV, but it was intended to be humorous. It wasn't McMahon playing. I just don't understand the hate for McMahon. It's like, we've actually talked about it in recent months and years. Like, if there's one guy in McMahon and Triple H who I think is holding back people of a certain colour, it's got to be the guy with the big nose. I mean, you look at Vince McMahon, he's the guy who pushed Booker T. He's the guy that gave Bobby Lashley a WWE Championship. He's the guy that gave Kofi Kingston Kofi Mania that all these guys mark out about. Big E.
Triple H won't even give them a spot on a premium live event.
I think it's like 638 days since they had a match.
I mean, if you want to be bashing someone, I don't think McMahon should be the guy that we're focusing on, but this is what Swerve Strickland said in regards when he issued his response to Booker T, when Booker T said he was treated fairly in WWE. Swerve said, quote, "That's not what happened when Vince McMahon said the N-word in front of you. That's not being treated fair, my opinion, to that statement. It's not what I'm even saying. I'm saying what people are saying, what your audience is saying. So it's not just me talking out of my ass out of nowhere. It's what your audience has been complaining about for the better part of 2-3 years, not seeing black talent, even getting singles matches on PLEs and stuff like that. Now, those guys are on socials more. They talk back and forth with the fans a little bit more. So you can't ignore that anymore." End of quote. Right. I mean, yeah, there has been a lack of black wrestlers getting matches on premium live event, although that is main roster. I mean, when you look at NXT, I mean, the majority of the single male champions on NXT, I think, have been black wrestlers. You look at Wes Lee, very long NXT North American Championship reign. Obafemi, very long North American Championship reign. You look at the NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes had a long reign. Trick Williams has won it multiple times. Now Obafemi has the belt. Siobhan Evans is always in and around the North American or world title picture on NXT. So it's clearly a main roster thing. It does exist, but is it a coincidence? Is there a reason? Booker T, he issued his response to this podcast, and he basically called it Vlad TV, whoever that is. So he said, quote, "I had an offer to be on Vlad TV before as well, and I turned it down. They called me back and they offered me more money to go on Flag TV, and I turned it down because I was not going to go on Flag TV and be exploited. I wasn't going to go on Flag TV and have him make me look like a fool in front of the world. I was not going to do that. I wasn't going to go on Flag TV and say anything negative towards any black man that's ever been in this business, because I know how hard it is for all of us. I've been the first one saying it. Any brother getting his bag, I'm all in 100%. I told Swerve Strickland to his face how disappointed I am in him as a young brother, because all I did for Swerve Strickland was put him over and put him on a pedestal as being one of the best out there that he deserves to be, being the AEW champion. I don't know if these guys think racism stopped in 1990 when I got in the business, but it didn't. You may not hear a lot of racial issues with Booker T because I handled racial issues hand-fist. I opened doors. I broke down barriers for people like Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland would perhaps not even be here if it wasn't for me. You speak on Vince McMahon and him saying the N-word. You want me to be the angry black man in the company. You want me to not open doors and make spaces for people like you. That's what you want me to do, Swerve Strickland. I hope you're never going to be in the movies. I hope you're never going to be on a movie set, because you might hear somebody say the N-word. If you've got a problem with it, they're going to tell you to get your ass the hell out of there. This is a movie, alright? I'm upset because, more importantly, I'm disappointed in Swerve Strickland, because what I told him, I'll repeat it just like I repeated it to him. You got played. You got played, bro. You got played. Let that man, Flag TV, play you. Pitch you against me and me against you. End of quote. So, Booker T basically just saying that here, there's always going to be, I guess, racism to some point, and if hearing the N-word here and there is going to offend you, then maybe you're in the wrong line of business. I mean, that whole McMahon thing was clearly a joke. Swerve Strickland's taken out of context. Like I said, McMahon pushed a lot of black wrestlers, pushed The Rock, pushed Booker T, pushed Bobby Lashley. So I don't think you can accuse McMahon of being racist just because he made one little, joke. He said the N-word in 2006. Whoop-de-doo. Booker T said it back in the 90s. Does that make him racist? No.
Yeah, and you look at the New Day as well. I mean, look at what McMahon did with them. Funny enough, the New Day haven't held belts pretty much since Triple H took over. And also, look at Booker T in 2006 when McMahon said that. It was King Booker, World Heavyweight Champion at the time. It's not like he was being held back. And you look at gimmicks like Crime Time, etc., etc. But Crime Time, like we're watching 2003, you've got the Teddy Long, Black Power gimmick. It's like, look at McMahon gave them. Like, yeah, is there like stereotypes in there? Of course there is, but he uses stereotypes with every race and every gimmick, and that's what gets the heat. That's what gets people watching. They can identify with that stuff. It's like today, it's like they're all simply wrestlers, and you look at Triple H's booking of them, like, and I do think Swerve Strickland's got a point. I mean, you can't have like 700 days almost since black wrestlers have had a match or a pay-per-view and not think it's a coincidence. I think you look in the past in wrestling, like the 90s and the 2000s, they weren't exactly stacked with black wrestlers, but you look and those. But then back then, the rosters were great. There was no real, oh, he was missing out on that one. See now, we've talked about Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, guys like that. There is no reasons why those guys can't be winning matches on the main roster over the likes of fucking Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, skinny ass white boys.
Well, Booker T says it's due to lack of talent. He says there's not that much good black wrestlers out there at this moment in time. So we'll see.
I'm actually going to disagree with Booker T there, because is he suggesting that they couldn't have? I mean, look at what was that match? It was at the Rumble. DIY versus Motor City Machine Gun. I mean, you trying to tell me that those two teams are better than the heel New Day that just turned heel in December? Why the New Day not getting a fucking title match? WWE themselves ranked as the 7th best heel turn of all time. I'm putting the New Day above those two teams every day of the week.
Well, it looks like they're going to get a match against the Viking War Raiders, so...
Aye, well, that's fucking brilliant, isn't it? Probably Mania Night 1 pre-show.
Anyway, DJ Flad then responded to Booker T. He said he was making up lies. He said he was hanging out with a registered sex offender. Posted a picture of Booker T and this guy, trying to bury Booker T's name, trying to run down Booker T. Booker T then replied, and he said the following. He said, "I've been a guest trainer at hundreds of wrestling schools over the years. helping to teach and mentor up and coming talent. I don't conduct background checks on every trainer or every individual I've crossed paths with or taken photos with along the way. He then went on to say that he feels this is a clear attempt to falsely associate me with something I have 100% nothing to do with and absolutely no knowledge of. Any student who's trained with me can vouch for the kind of coach, mentor and person I am. My record speaks for itself. Agree with Booker T here. I mean, you just can't... You can't try and bring somebody down just because they may have posted with somebody for a picture or been in somebody's company once. That'd be like blaming McMahon for killing Nancy and Daniel just because he hired Benoit. That's fucking retarded. So I'm not sure this Flat Guy TV is, but I mean, he definitely doesn't seem to have much credibility when he's trying to tie Booker T down to this one guy when Booker T has literally coached and trained and mentored thousands of people. I mean, how does Booker T know what people are doing outside of his gym or outside of his school? How does Booker T know what people are doing at night when they're in their house or when they're on their computers or when they're outside? You know, it's an absolute nonsense here for Flad TV.
Booker T cannot ask every single person he takes a photograph with for a background check. The world doesn't work like that, folks, and this is just Flad TV running out of ammunition, so he's going for the low-hanging fruit, which thankfully a lot of people have seen through, because it's horse shit, man. Come on.
So anyway, back to Swerve Strickland. Was he jobbed out? Honestly, I don't really know. I don't think the guy's that good. AEW World Champ. Does he deserve to be an AEW World Champ? I'm not convinced. Would he have been a big star in WWE? I'm not convinced. I think Hit Row had potential, but you know, is what it is. He got released, although I'm pretty sure he asked for his release, so it's not like he was fired. I'm pretty sure he wanted to leave.
You know, Swerve Strickland might come back to the WWE in 2030 and he might become world champion then, who knows, but there's so many guys that have been released over the years, you know, Mahal, McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, and not one of them fucking cried about racism and saying they're being held down because of whatever race or whatever creed they're from. He's just one of those guys that got released. It fucking happens to thousands.
Even Devon came out a month ago and said McMahon was never racist to him, so yeah, all this trying to blame McMahon shit, it's no working. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think down below. He's clinging on to the N-word that McMahon said, but you know, that was... If you're going to claim that means McMahon's racist, then that's like saying that Kane's a literal arsonist. You know, it doesn't fucking work that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. That's like...
if McMahon's racist for saying the N-word, then Kane's a real arsonist for, you know, setting JR on fire. And
that's like, yeah, you're right. That's like if a house burns down in Knox County. Oh, yeah, Kane, he's got a history for this.
You know, point the fingers like Glenn Jacobs.
He killed his family.
Anyway, guys, that's it. Till next time. Peace.